With much of the legislative items he needed passed, the governor's State of the State address focused on turning those initiatives into action. And some of those initiatives will impact where many of you live, Michigan's urban areas.
24-Hour News 8's Joe LaFurge is live at the Capitol with that story. Joe?
Yeah, Brian, Sue, of course, we're talking Grand Rapids, Muskegon, Kalamazoo, Lansing, Flint, Saginaw, and of course Detroit. Tonight, the elected leader of West Michigan's largest city was here at the Capitol to hear what the governor had to say.
A number of our cities and schools are suffering major financial distress.
Most of what the governor had to say about cities centered on Detroit. He talked about a better mass transit system for Southeast Michigan, about the controversial Bridge to Canada project, and while not saying whether the state will take over Detroit, he talked about the importance of the controversial emergency financial manager legislation. But what about the state's other major cities? Grand Rapids Mayor George Hartwell was at the Capitol tonight. He tells me he liked much of what he heard, including the pledge to rebuild Michigan's infrastructure and provide additional help to curb violence in the major cities.
Today he said we could, to keep up, we should be spending another $1.6 billion a year. We've got to get there. I'm intrigued by the emphasis on law enforcement. He's talking about doing something with policing, and that can only be good news for local cities.
Now, one initiative the governor talked about tonight was the elimination of the personal property tax. That is a tax placed on companies when they bring equipment in. It's based on the equipment they bring into, especially in the cases of manufacturing, do that sort of work. Now, the cities and schools also benefit from that tax. The city of Grand Rapids to the tune of about $1.5 million a year. Mayor Hartwell says he can see a lot of sense in doing away with that tax, but he wants to hear from legislators here what they're going to do to replace that money. We also heard from some Detroit area Democrats who complained the governor's speech just didn't set a clear enough agenda for urban areas. Live at the Capitol, Joe LaFurge, 24-Hour News 8.